This is a Gibson Billie Joe Armstrong Les Paul Jr. from 2006. After the successful release of American Idiot in 2004, Gibson got in chat with Billie Joe Armstrong and they made these in production. This was based on the 1957 Gibson Les Paul Jr. that Billie Joe Armstrong used on the record American Idiot, which is in vintage sunburst. So these guitars were released in three particular colors, which are ebony, vintage sunburst, and alpine white, which is supposed to be this one. But obviously, due to age and 20 years of playtime, this has turned into a yellowish kind of look. So a few moments ago, I went to test out this guitar to make sure that everything's okay since it hasn't been played for a while. But unfortunately, the guitar jack is making some screeching noises. That's very common in guitars, and sometimes they require the maintenance that they need. And today I'm going to show you how to actually swap out a guitar jack and obviously clean the guitar while we're at it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to remove the strings and I'm going to start working on the fretboard. So as you can probably tell, this guitar hasn't had a proper cleanup in a while. I'm grabbing my trusty baby wipes and I'm gonna start removing and cleaning the fretboard like I usually do. These are very gentle on the wood itself. It's not going to harm your guitar, but you need something to pick up the dirt that's been accumulated for many years, and this guitar definitely needs it. I'm now going to dry out the fretboard so I could start sticking masking tape on top of it. I'm going to also inspect that all the dirt is completely gone before I move on to taping the guitar with masking tape. Now I could just use a fret guard like I used in the previous video, but for the sake of the people who don't actually own a 3D printer, I'm going to use the old method of using masking tape and taping the frets off. So I taped the whole fretboard. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you have thinner masking tape, it would work even better on this side. But the main purpose of this is to use a 400 steel wool, and you'll start rubbing gently on the fret itself. So you're actually removing all that corrosion and oxidization while also kind of polishing it up. I'm going to do it to all the frets and then I'm going to polish them up. I'm using an extreme fine grade polish. If you have an extreme cutting compound, it would be even better. I'm doing it all by hand to simply polish the frets and make them shinier. If you have a Dremel tool, it would be even better, but this will also get the job done. Now, before I hit it with the fretboard conditioner, I'm going to use the baby wipes one more time to clean the residue of the masking tape. Okay, I'm using the Dunlop 65 Ultimate Lemon Oil. This stuff lasts a really long time. I forgot when I bought it last. It's a very good product. And I'm just going to simply wipe down the excess. And it should leave you with a nice conditioned fretboard. Now moving on to the body, I'm going to check which pickup this guitar has, because people have a tendency of replacing these. I am one of them. And I'll feature this pickup in a different video where I explain the difference between a regular Gibson P90 and the H90 that's featured in these guitars. Yep, this is the first H90 production that this Billie Joe Armstrong signature model has. It's quite cool actually. My H90 on my double cut Les Paul Jr. didn't feature this wording. I don't know if these are written by Gibson or somebody else wrote this before this guitar was purchased. But at least we know that that's the H90. While I'm at it, I'm also going to remove the pickguard to see if the original color, the Alpine White, is underneath. Just for curiosity purposes. It's quite lighter actually, but that's supposed to be the original color. So while I'm at it, I'm going to clean up the guitar body. I'm going to lightly polish it up by hand using these products and wax it up to protect the guitar's finish. I'll be using the Dunlop 65 guitar polish and cleaner. It's just a simple way to remove any dirt and debris off your guitar. Now I'll be using an applicator pad where I'll be putting a few drops on top and start applying it on the guitar finish. Circular motions, leaving the applicator pad doing the work. No need to press hard. Now I'll just grab a clean microfiber towel and wipe the excess off. And it should leave us with a nice looking finish. While I'm at it, I'm also going to be cleaning the plastic parts, which are going to be the pickguard and the dog ear P90. I will be tightening the truss rod just a tiny bit because the string height is quite high and the neck is a bit bent forward. That means you need to tighten the truss rod just a tiny bit, like so. I'm going to be swapping the original guitar strap hooks and replacing them with strap locks. I think this guitar deserves a bit of a replacement. I'll still keep the original ones in the case just in case somebody else wants to change them. Now I'll be checking the situation of the volume and tone knob. I've already tested these, they work fine. I just need to see if something has been changed when this guitar was bought. It seems that the tone capacitor has been changed into an orange drop, and the way they soldered it isn't the best, but everything seems to be working, so I'm not replacing any of these parts. I have a feeling that this jack plate has never been opened before. I think I am the first person to actually open this part in 20 years. There's a lot of corrosion. Obviously, there's not going to be enough contact because it's corroded on the inside. Probably never been changed. This is the new one and this is the old one. Let's swap it out. What I like to do is I like to grab a little box and I'll insert the input jack in here so that it doesn't move around while I unsolder the pieces. One, it makes the job easier, and I need to reuse this wire for the newer output jack. Now I'll just do the same thing on the newer guitar jack. Now this part is ground and this part is hot, so you just simply put it back together how it was. I'm going to grab a piece of solder wire. You heat up the area and you simply solder the parts back together. Now that you've seen me change the guitar input jack, I am going to be cleaning this stuff up, make it a tiny bit shinier, and assemble the guitar back together.